Welcome to Voice Notes from a Slow Life. I'm Emily, and I'm glad you're here. These are real time reflections on slowing down, mothering gently, and choosing a more intentional life. Let's begin. So, I always want to keep it 100 on this podcast, and I want to let you know that I have not been very slow lately. Well, lately, meaning the last couple days. And I want to talk about it. I don't want to shy away from it because I think this is really important to discuss. So, I have noticed that in the last few days, I've been overworking, working long stretches of time, like working on my website, for instance, working late doing things. And I found myself rationalizing why, saying, like, oh, well, it's because you have a lot of podcast interviews coming up. So your website has to be all like set up and you have to fix things and you have to get it done quickly because I have like a podcast guest appearance. When I say podcast episode, I mean like I'm going to be on a lot of, I guest on many different podcasts, but I have one that just came out yesterday and I'm like, oh, well, if some of their audience wants to check out my website, it has to be like super up to date. So I was like working tirelessly on that. And it's funny because I talk about slow living and I talk about slow mothering and like not overworking ourselves and caring for ourselves and resting, and a lot of the people in my everyday life, because they don't have a history of burnout and overworking myself, they're always like, remember to practice what you preach, remember to practice what you preach. And I'm like, yeah, for sure. And I'm only human, and that's why I want to share that with you today. Is like, we're all just only human. I am somebody who guides moms and women and other individuals to slow down their pace of life. I make content about it. I shout it from the rooftops, but I'm not perfect and no one's perfect. And what always used to like frustrate me when I would watch slow living content online is like, I'm like, they're perfect. They never screw up. I'm like, that's not reality, or at least it's not my reality. And so when I'm having issues, I want to share it with you because I think that's just the most helpful thing I can do. So I was not being very slow recently. However, like, I want to know like how I can tell like that it's so much better now than what it used to be. Because in the past, I would overwork myself and I would rationalize it like I was just doing before, but I would accept that rationalization and I would continue to work hard and continue to overwork and continue to work mindlessly because like the things that I was working on that were like even this time, they weren't essential. They were not important. Like they could have waited. They're fine. Um, but in the past, I would have just accepted that rationalization and kept with it. And more than that, not only accept, oh, it's just a phase. I'm so busy, whatever. Like that would have been my my discourse. It would be like, I'm so busy. It's so, blah blah blah. Instead, I'm like, I don't need to be this busy, and it's not a good thing. Because before, I thought I was so high and mighty for overworking, right? We kind of feel like that way where we have like, they say like you have a badge of for burnout, like you don't get a medal for being burnt out, but like you're like, oh, I'm overworking myself, so therefore I am good, maybe even better than you. Sleep is for the weak. And I would have just continued on that path until I wasn't doing very well at all. But because I live this new type of lifestyle and I have become really more in touch with myself and I know my patterns, um, and I can sense when I'm not doing well much better, I was able to identify it really quickly and nip it in the butt, like, so I was recognizing that I was rationalizing and I was like, ooh, not a good sign. I was recognizing that I was working for longer stretches of time than what I typically do. Like I do deep work. So when I work, I tend to do a couple of hours at once because I get in a flow state, which is totally fine. But I was doing it exceeding that, even to the point where I wasn't going to the bathroom and I wasn't eating, which another pattern of mine. I don't want to do that. And so I stopped. And this morning, because I had been doing this, I think this overworking would have been for the last 2 days, I would say. And this morning I woke up, my eyes are red because I was looking at a screen for so long. You know, when like the white of your eyes becomes a little bit red? And I'm tired and my body feels exhausted. And in those times, I just want to push through. And it's funny because even like yesterday, I had worked, I think like 4 hours straight on my computer without even eating. Like I woke up and started working. And then I was like, oh, I'll eat and then I'll rest. And I was resting on the couch, but I was on my phone working. That's not resting. I'm like, well, not in front of my computer. Girl, no, that's still working. So yeah, today I woke up completely tired, getting my daughter out the door while still maintaining my cool because I feel like, I don't know about you, but when I'm not at my best, my daughter is extra slow, extra dragging her feet and stuff. So it was very hard to get her out of the door without losing my cool, which is why I need to rest so I can keep my cool in those situations. So I'm like, yeah, I fucked up a little bit. But like I don't want to say that because I'm just human, right? I want to have some self-compassion. So what you do instead is like I'm like, okay, what do I need? And my go-to of what I need is always rest. I'm gonna need rest. Um, I do have one client today, this morning in about an hour. So after that client, I am gonna really rest. And when I say rest, I might even go and take a nap. I don't care if I just woke up. I'm tired. I have sleep debt accumulated. Sleep debt meaning, I have I've missed so much sleep that it's gonna take a bit more sleep to catch up on that sleep. You know what I'm saying? A lot of it's also because of the time change and the it getting darker earlier and all that. It's really messed up my sleep. But I think I just need to rest. So I need to do a client session, like maintain my energy. Like right now, I am just laying in my bed next to my dog, thinking out loud with you. And so I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna see my client, and then I'm gonna go and eat something. I already ate, by the way. I ate something. But I'm gonna eat like a lunch, and then I'm gonna rest, and that is totally cool. And I want to share this because I want to highlight the fact that there is no good time to start your slow living or slow motherhood journey. There's no perfect time where everything's going to fall in place. There's always going to be things that are going to feel like they're getting in the way. It's like that what we hear in society where it's like there's no good time to have a baby, there's no good time to decide to be a parent. It's the same thing for slow living because life just kind of happens. And slow living and slow mothering is not a fad, it's not a diet. When you choose to like go on a paleo diet or you choose to go on any kind of diet, you're like, I will start next Monday because this weekend I'm seeing friends and I'm going to go to the restaurant. Or, oh, it's around Christmas time. Let's wait until after Christmas time because, the holidays are going to come into play and it'll affect my diet. That that does not coincide with living a new life. And the reason that you might want to embrace slow motherhood is not to have the perfect motherhood. If you have that in your mind as like why you want to embrace this lifestyle, you're going to have a really difficult time because there is no perfect motherhood. There's no perfect life. There's just the life you're living and you will get curveballs. However, when you embrace this lifestyle, you're able to manage those curveballs better. So in the ideal situations where everything is hunky-dory and beautiful, yeah, your life might look like those Pinterest photos and those Instagram reels, right, of the slow motherhood of your dreams. But reality is often, not the same as what you see on Pinterest. and it's real and it's messy and it's outside of your control. A lot of the things that are in your life are outside of your control. Your children, your partner, your work, like how your people at work are. The weather, it's snowing now. So I'm like, ugh, the weather. So many things are outside of your control. And the only thing you can control is how you come to meet it. And so when you embrace this lifestyle, you are better able to notice your patterns quickly, and you have more tools to meet challenges and be able to manage them and live and prosper through them. And what I don't want to happen, which happens so often, like for this diet example, when you miss the diet days, I don't know, for a couple of days, or you falter, oftentimes we internalize that as I'm bad, I can't do it. This is not for me, and we just completely go off. We don't continue. But that's not life. And I want to show that by telling you, like, I fell off. my my slow living journey, I kind of like wobbled, and I wasn't very slow for the last couple days. Does that mean I failed slow living or slow motherhood? No, because it's all part of life. And I still know that I am living this lifestyle because what I'm doing right now, which is coming back to my awareness, coming back to myself, readjusting, assessing what's going on. And part of it is also, I'm going to go look at my to-do list later when I'm more rested. I'm going to revisit my values, and I'm going to go back to my to-do list, and I'm going to see where things have creeped up. I have put more things on my to-do list than really should be there. And that is one of the things I talk about often as like a tool during the busy seasons, during difficult times, is eliminate what's not serving you. And I'm sure there's tons of things on that list that I could eliminate that would not cause an issue. So that is what I'm going to do. But first and foremost, for me, I know that the number one thing that I need is rest. And so that's what I'm going to prioritize today. But yeah. Ooh, I hear my husband walking. I don't know if he's about to come over here. Nope. He turned. He's gonna find me like laying on the bed with my dog talking into a microphone and be like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm talking to people." And he's like, okie dokie. Anyway, that's all I have for you right now. I could make a longer video and reach more into the depths of like how to support you better during these difficult situations. But right now, I'm the one going through a difficult situation. And I want to model that for you of how to handle it, which is I need to prioritize me. Because I am, if I don't prioritize me, I can't serve anybody. And that's the same thing for you. If you can't prioritize you can't serve anybody. And I'm just gonna leave with like a quote, like, because I just talked about like prioritizing and eliminating and all that, and that might mean also saying no to people and quote unquote letting people down. And I want to end with a quote that I was talking to my grandmother about yesterday, and it's a book. In the book Untamed is where I heard it, and I'm gonna butcher the quote. But basically, it says, if you have to pick between disappointing someone else or disappointing yourself, always disappoint that someone else. Do not disappoint yourself. And as women, I think we need to hear that because we tend to people please and we tend to give endlessly for fear of, upsetting somebody else. But, prioritize yourself. Don't disappoint yourself. And rest when you can. And do not be mad at yourself when things go awry, because they will. And that's okay. You just work through them. All right. I'm going to head off. And I have so many other topics I could talk about, but they should have their own separate episodes, and also I'm tired. So, if you have any other ideas of things you'd like me to talk about, let me know. And let me do my little outro, okay? Thank you for listening. If this episode spoke to you, it would mean so much to me if you would follow, leave a review, or share it with someone who might need it. Until next time, keep living your authentic life. Bye.